but we're all figured out now. And we're here going live today to talk about kids, your family members, young adults, really from birth on up through teens. We want to talk to you about different skin conditions that can happen at those different stages of life, what that skin is like, what kind of skincare products we like to recommend for those different areas, and we really want to open it up to our audience. So if you're watching us on social media or YouTube, head over to artistskincare.com, click on the videos tab if our video doesn't immediately open for you. And once you're there, you'll be able to join the live conversation with us. So you can tell us what is your young adult or your teen or your child suffering, what kind of things are happening for them, and so we can really get specific and help you find things that are going to work really well for your kids. So we're going to get started here. And where do I want to start? So where I want to start, let's just start off with that prepubescent kid. Okay, prepubescent kids often have skin that is very similar to menopausal skin. Believe it or not, we kind of go through this evolution with our skin. Prepubescent kids, they don't have a lot of pores visible often. They often have very dry skin. They don't have that moisture. They're more like that menopausal skin that's very dry. And a lot of times with kids that age, we see conditions like dryness, rashiness, sensitivity, and KP, keratosis pilaris. And that's where you can see it on the back of their arms. They get those little sharp nubs, little bumps, and they can get those same bumps on their cheeks. So let's start there. Let's start with addressing that age group. A lot of times with that age group, we're talking 9, 10, and under, you've got to keep it pretty simple. So keeping it simple for me and for my granddaughter, Elowen, who's just 8 years old, what we found that works for her is that we use an oil cleanser at night. So she's using the balancing oil cleanser from Botnia. But another one that's really great is from Orgate, and Celine can actually highlight those for us. Let's bring those up, Celine. So the Botnia has an oil cleanser, Michelle Corley has an oil cleanser, and Botnia has an oil cleanser. So all three of those cleansers are really lovely. What I find is that the Botnia oil cleanser is best maybe for those who are the driest of skins, and that's what Elowen is using. She applies that directly, and any of these oils, apply them directly to dry skin, which is so nice because no kid wants to splash water around, or maybe they do, but they're not going to splash it on their face. She just massages this oil all over her face. Then I give her a warmed, wet Lush cloth or one of our Clean Skin Club wipes, all nice and damp and warm, and she just uses that to then wipe off any residue of the oil. That'll remove the pollution from the day, and it deposits some moisture, some oil into her skin. If you have a kid that's not quite so dry, you could use the pore cleansing oil from Michelle Corley, or you can use the Orgate one, either one, but the same thing. Massage it onto dry skin, then get the fingers wet, massage it again, and then just wipe it off with a nice damp warm cloth, and that's it. The nice thing about using those oil cleansers for kids at night is that they don't need to put anything else on, because that oil cleanser is going to leave a nice surface moisture intact, and that's why if they have that drier skin, that Botnia one's going to leave a little bit of an oil residue, so it keeps their skin really nice and soft and moist, and they love it. Now that age group, in the mornings I find, and maybe you guys have a different kid, but getting them to brush their teeth and then getting the sunscreen on. And I usually choose a sunscreen that's kind of moisturizing for the kids. And even with Celine, when she was in junior high age, I had her using a tinted moisturizer that had an SPF of about 20 in it. And it came in a nice big container. It was from Rhonda Allison. And I just told the kids, this is your moisturizer. And they liked it. It was a pretty color. It smelled good. They would just put it on all over like a moisturizer. And I was happy because I knew that they were getting that sun protection that they need. So with Elowen, what I have her use, and her little brother is now using this too, and it's great because he's very fair and he's just 4. But she uses the Kinfield sunscreen in the morning. So she brushes her teeth, then she puts some of this on her face, and you actually have to show kids how to do it. Because if you have just put it on their fingers, I find they just like rub it in one spot. So I have to actually show her, you rub your fingers together, and then you massage it all over your face. Make sure you get your forehead and the top of your nose. And for little Evander, get the top of your ears. And then they do it. They like it. It's just their daily step that goes with brushing their teeth. And the nice thing about this Kinfield product is just how yummy it smells. It has a little bit of a glimmer to it. Not really, it doesn't look like it has glitter or anything like that in it, but it has a really nice glimmer
really pretty,
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun for kids.
Yeah, yeah. So let's pop that up on there. Now there are some other sunscreens, and we'll talk about those as we're going along through this as well. If you don't want a tinted sunscreen, you can definitely choose one that doesn't have a tint that they can put on. It's just the little older they get, things that you can give them that help them to feel excited about their skincare, and especially with little girls, right? Something that smells good, something that's a little bit pretty on the skin, they're gonna feel good about using that. And it just gets that nice attachment to their skincare started at a young age, which is really great. Now, the next group that I want to talk to you guys about are those preteens. So in the preteen age, sometimes their skin is still sometimes dry and sensitive, but it's sometimes also starting to get a little bit of oil. We start to see a little bit of pores starting to show up, sometimes a little bit of a blackhead or two or a blemish here and there. And usually at that age, the most important thing that we can do for them is make sure that they're using a nice gentle cleanser every day and putting on their sunscreen and making sure their sunscreen is one that allows their skin to breathe, so that they're not getting clogged pores. A lot of times, just getting them onto a gentle cleanser and a gentle toner will do the trick of clearing out those little bits of blemishes on here. So Celine chose out some really fun things for us for this age group. Let's get them up on here. So first we're gonna do that preteen, not really blemish prone at all. And then we'll go into one that gets occasional breakouts, then we'll go into one that's getting more mild and moderate breakouts. So let's start with that preteen. Doesn't really get too many breakouts. We want to get them on just a nice basic kind of 3-step routine that sets them up for a healthy skin as they get older. So a couple of great choices in cleansers. Green tea.
Yes, so my 2 choices is Ultra Gentle Cleanser. This is a bestseller. It is really easy to wash off. It has a nice gentle suds to it. This is fragrance free and has a really minimal ingredient deck. Another great choice if your kid likes stuff that smells good and they want to have a nice scent when they're washing their face. This is also very gentle. This is the Green Tea Citrus Cleanser from SkinScript. And this is gonna have a really nice, like lightweight citrusy scent that is really enjoyable in the shower. It is packed with antioxidants, so it's giving them more sun protection, protection from pollutants. And this one is, both of these are very wallet friendly. You just have to make sure they're not using too much. I think the toughest thing with kids is they'll just like dump a ton into their hand if they're using it. So what I recommend doing is going onto our website. If you just go to the search bar and you type in pump, you'll see there's a $1 pump. It's only $1. Add it to your order. It will fit perfectly. Like this one. Yep, It fits perfectly on top of the SkinScript cleanser. It also fits on the Face Reality cleanser. There's just going to be like a little bit of product left over in the bottom because it's not quite as long, because these are not quite the same size. but you'll get through most of this cleanser, and they can use a pump, and you can really instruct them just one pump, so they're not just turning it over and tons of product comes out.
These cleansers are excellent because they are gentle. They don't disrupt the skin barrier. We're not going to mess up their natural biome. There's no acids in there, so we're not going to create any kind of sensitivity. It's just perfect for that preteen who just needs to get started on a nice, gentle cleanser. Now, there is a toner that we love. I just grabbed a small one to put on here. I'll let Celine talk to you about this toner because I feel at this age, at preteen, is a good time to start on a toner. I like to have a toner that has naturally occurring active ingredients instead of really strong salicylic or glycolic or anything like that. I like just some naturally occurring acids in there to exfoliate and help with that little bit of breakout that they can get.
So Botnia toner has just a teensy bit of naturally derived glycolic acid that just promotes a little bit of cell turnover that can help with mild breakouts, kind of build up of dead skin cells. It also smells amazing. It has rose hydrosol in it, so it has a nice natural scent, and it has hyaluronic acid. So this is giving you pH balancing, it's giving you light exfoliation from glycolic and hydration from the hyaluronic acid that's in here. So it's just an easy, straightforward product. It's also gentle enough that you can mist it on your face and not worry about it burning your eyes because it just has a very tiny amount of the active ingredients. And so it's very gentle. You can have your kid just mist it all over their face and then just go in with sunscreen. Because this will give that
gentle antibacterial action. It smells really fresh. So it helps you to wake up, have a good mood in the morning. I don't know. I just find working with little kids, every little kid's different, but some kids, like for instance, my 4-year-old grandson, Evander, we have to put on some music in the morning. Otherwise, he's laying in bed and he doesn't want to get up. We put on some music, and usually by about the second song, it's the song about having to go to the potty. And he is up and out of bed and has his shorts on, and it gets him going. I'm more of that. I like the scent. I like that sensualness. So I like things in the morning that smell good and make me feel good in the morning. How about you, Celine? What's your morning thing? I know your music too.
I'm definitely music. I'm definitely a cup of hot matcha tea. But Elowen, my niece who's 8, she's all about scents. She's very scent oriented. I remember when she was really little, she had a lot of nightmares, and so we would do lavender essential oils, and that would keep the nightmares away. So I think she's a lot more like scent oriented.
Yeah, that's why we use a lot of Botnia things with her because it is very soothing for her. Now, the way to finish this kind of a routine off is that in the morning, you're going to want to put on a sunscreen. So it really depends on how much oil your kid has in their skin. Do they need a more moisturizing sunscreen, or do they need a really lightweight one? So let's just dive into sunscreens because this will carry over into those more breakout prone teens as well, because we chose everything for our teens that are in that acne safe range. So one of the lightest sunscreens that you can get, when I say lightest, I mean light feeling. And that's Face Reality Ultimate Protection Sunscreen. I'll let you pop those up. And a lot of boys use this. A lot of our teen boys use this sunscreen. It goes on, it has a matte finish, it blends in really pretty easily, and they just put it on and go. So that works really well. For those that are needing a little more moisture, the Clear SPF, it comes untinted. Boys generally, Evander's okay with tinted right now because he's 4, but most boys when we're hitting that teen age, preteen and up, they're going to want usually a clear. So Clear SPF is an excellent choice. If you do have a girl in the household, it also comes in a tinted. And talk to us about that.
The tinted is not like tinted like makeup. The tinted just means that it will blend into deeper skin tones seamlessly.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Most folks, actually, in my experience, prefer the tinted. Everyone loves the tinted unless you are like super, super, super fair.
Okay.
Otherwise, just get the tinted. It looks dark, but it blends in really sheer on the skin.
So those darker skin tones will love this product. Now, this product does not layer well over products that have silicone in them. So you won't, or actually, and our people who hate silicone love these sunscreens because there's no silicone, and it's very hard to find a tinted sunscreen that doesn't have any dimethicones in it. So no dimethicones in this baby. So there you can see the tinted one, and here's the untinted. So you can see it's just a little bit more to blend that in.
But
And if you're, and the darker, the darker your skin tone is, the harder it'll be to blend in, but it still blends in pretty darn well. So either one of those are really, really excellent. Okay, let's dive down into, let's get into teens that get those occasional breakouts. So we're here in that teen stage. We're starting to see more pores developing, a little larger pores, a little more oiliness to the skin. The hormones are starting to come into play, and you're starting to see either some blackheads or some blemishes coming up here and there. And when it comes to that point, usually we're picking out a little bit stronger cleanser, but yet one that's still gentle for their skin. So one of my very, very favorites, actually we have Bion Bacteriostat Cleanser. There's actually two in Bion. There's Anti-Bac and there's Bacteriostat. I generally start with Bacteriostat because it's for a little more sensitive skin. And Bacteriostat just has naturally occurring antibacterial ingredients, a little bit of naturally occurring salicylic acid, and it really many times, kids at this age who are starting to get some breakouts, if we just put them on that cleanser, it takes care of everything. They just clear right up. Usually with teens too, you want to start simple. Start with the simple things. Start with that cleanser, and that's what I'll do with clients when I'm coaching them. Start them with this cleanser. And then, 2-3 weeks later, when they're being really regular with that cleanser, if they're still getting breakouts, then we'll bump it up to the next notch. But for starting out, using this cleanser and then grabbing a spot treatment, like Skin Script's Blemish Spot Treatment. Did I get it right? Yeah, Blemish Spot Treatment. It's a roll-on, and they roll it on that little spot.
It's not a roll-on.
It used to be a roll-on.
It's never been a roll-on.
It was, but it was a long time ago. They were little kids when it was a roll-on, so it's not a roll-on. When I started my kids on this, it was a roll-on. So, but now it's a pump, which is good because actually it's not going to feed bacteria back into the bottle. Thank you, Celine. Celine, would you like to tell us about this product, or you've already got it up on here?
That's great. Up on here. So this is nice because it also kind of doubles as kind of like a light serum. So if your kid is just starting to get a little more of like a just general breakouts, they can lightly use a thin layer of this or just spot treat with it. It's kind of flexible in that way. It also layers very easily under any skincare. It doesn't feel weird, or gritty, or have any kind of odd textures to it. So it's easy for a skincare starter who doesn't want to feel like there's something like gunky and odd on their skin.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the 3 steps to this method. So we've got the cleanser, you've got a spot treatment. We are also going to use the Botnia mist. So you've got your cleanser, you've got your mist, and then a spot treatment, and then you can choose from the sunscreens that we've been talking about, the Kinfield or the Clear SPF or the Face Reality sunscreen. Any of those are good to use during the day and provide a little bit of a moist feel and a little bit of barrier protection on the skin. So the next stage we want to talk about, or the next type of skin, is that teen who's getting more mild to moderate breakouts. So definitely here you're seeing larger pores, a lot more oil, more hormones going on, hair, voice changes, and some blemishes start happening, and anywhere from 3 to 5 to even 10 all the time. Now, if your kid has more than 5 blemishes going on at one time, I recommend that you reach out to us and do our acne coaching, because Morgan is amazing working with those teens. And if you're having that many breakouts, often you have in your history, maybe you have some genetics where maybe mom or dad or grandparents had acne. And so you're going to see an increase, more acne going on for those kids. We can prevent scarring. We can prevent them losing their self-esteem. There's just so much we can do if you get them early into the acne coaching program. But if they're having 5 or less breakouts at a time and some blackheads going on, let's talk about that. So same thing again, we're going to talk about using a Bion cleanser. We're going to talk about using a little stronger toner, and that's where we're going to change it up. So if we want to change the toner that's up for everybody, let me show you these pads. These are a Bion Mandelic 5% pads. This is especially nice for teens because many teens just like taking one pad and wiping all over. Depending on how severe that acne is or how oily they are, they can use these pads once a day or they can use them twice a day. And it really helps to clear out those pores and to stop those breakouts. Mandelic acid comes from almonds. It's antibacterial and antifungal. So if you've also got a teen who's starting to shave and getting some breakouts in that shaving area, that's usually a fungus that gets in there and causes that breakout. These pads are going to be great for that. So we've got the cleanser, we've got the toner pads. Then you're going to choose your, same thing, choose your moisturizer, sunscreen. And then same thing again is choosing a spot treatment. Usually with this, if I'm using the Bion pads, I like to use the Bion Green Tea Clay Poultice. This poultice is something, if you have a blemish, you can put a little tiny bit on during the day and it's a little bit greenish. So it actually helps to take away that redness and hide that little shiny spot because of that little matte finish. And then at nighttime, you put more on. You put it on a little bit more like a mask. Let's pump some up here. Oh, we just squirted it all over ourselves. Here we go. So you can kind of see it has that little bit of, it has a really nice clay texture, but you can put it on nice and thick at night and then just spot treat with it you can see how easy it is to blend it in during the day. So you've got that nice little clay. That clay in this helps to balance the hormones, helps to prevent that collagen loss that causes those divots and the hyperpigmentation from a breakout. It's going to help to speed up the healing. Where you don't want to use this is on blackheads. The poultice. Don't use this poultice on blackheads because it dries them up and dries them right down into the skin. Better for blackheads is to use those toner pads on those. But when you have a bump, a pimple, a pustule, that's when you want to grab that green tea clay poultice. And it is phenomenal. So we've got all those things marked. We rushed kind of through just some basics here. Now I've been seeing some comments popping up. So Celine, start reading us some of those great questions.
Okay, first question. What can reduce acne scars in a 28-year-old?
So first thing that we always do when we're treating acne and scarring, the first thing we want to do is make sure that they're not continuing to get breakouts. That's our very first step, is to make sure you're not getting any more breakouts because we don't need to keep treating those scars that keep coming up. Now, if you're not getting any more breakouts, that's when we can start adding in some retinol to your routine. You can start doing some microneedling. Celine did a show on microneedling last Thursday. Thursdays is when we have our acne chats, so you can learn a lot about acne on that show. Celine did a needling show for us, and she was just telling me, how does your skin feel now?
My skin's really happy. It's plump. It heals very quickly. I do definitely recommend check out that video from last week. It's all about microneedling for acne scars. I think it would be really helpful.
Yes, it'd be very helpful. So when you're microneedling for acne scarring, you're going to be using a special stem cell serum, and you're going to be using the needles, and then you can also be incorporating some retinol into your skincare routine. Face Reality has 2 levels of retinol. One's a retinaldehyde, that level 1, that's a good one to start with, and then work your way up to that level 2, vitamin A corrective number 2. Now, if you are still getting breakouts, reach out to us, get into our acne program. Let's get all that handled, because if you just start putting vitamin A on your skin and needling and you still are breaking out, it's just going to get worse. You're going to be a mess and you're going to be very mad at me. So if you're still getting breakouts, let's go to work on that first. Let's make sure that you're not getting those breakouts anymore and get to the bottom of what's causing that.
Next question. How about a combined moisturizer with non-tinted sunscreen for 16-year-old girl? No breakouts, just a little KP. Says also for folliculitis.
And wants non-tinted.
Non-tinted. I'm thinking possibly, unless she's dry in any way. If she's dry in any way, then I would say what? What? So
this one is a little better for
this
for
one
drier
is
skin.
more mattifying on the
Okay.
skin. So it works really well for anyone who does have a little bit of oil, maybe normal combination skin type. If she's dry in any kind of capacity, then this might feel a little too drying for her as a combo moisturizer sunscreen. So then I would do the Tizo Daily Zinc non-tinted. And I don't have that one linked here, but if you search our website, you can search zinc non-tinted. Actually, sorry, it's not called Daily Zinc. That's its old name.
That's the old name we gave it.
Ultra
That's
Zinc.
what I was trying to remember which one it was.
Ultra
Great.
Zinc
That's why I was
non-tinted
tangled. Okay.
is the one for you. That one is going to be lightly moisturizing. It's non-tinted and it is acne safe.
It's a really reasonable price. It comes in a pretty good size. Our clients use it as a body moisturizer as well as the face. It's definitely on that more moisturizing side. So check that one out.
Yep.
And then really important for her to be using that oil cleanse as her cleanser. With that folliculitis going on, if she does have folliculitis, you're probably going to need to add in some Mandelic somewhere. Did she say what age? 15.
16.
So the Mandelic toner pads might be good for her, that she could use them just once a day or every couple days. Could be good. Otherwise, you could do Face Reality's Mandelic serum. Mandelic is the best thing for folliculitis. So finding a way to work some Mandelic into her skincare routine would be really helpful. Doing an oil cleanse, then using a Mandelic toner or a Mandelic serum. So we have the Mandelic pads, which might be too strong for her since she's dry. You could look at...
We don't know if she's dry.
Oh, we don't?
No.
But she has KP, which tells me she's probably dry.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about... there's also Mandelic toner in Rhonda Ellison. You can reach out to our live chat and they'll point you in the direction of the Mandelic Defense toners there. That might be a little more friendly for her to get started with. Or Face Reality's Mandelic serum. And the other thing I want to say, KP is almost 100% gluten intolerance. And I know it's so hard. Everyone hates to hear that, but cutting out the bread, wheat in her diet or your diet, her diet, is going to probably 100% eliminate the KP. Completely eliminates my granddaughter's KP. And then when school starts up and she's getting school breakfast or school lunch, it just starts coming back slowly but surely. It gets worse and worse. And when we cut it out through the summer, it's all gone, completely clear. So keep that in mind. All right, more questions?
She says 19-year-old son folliculitis. So I'm not sure. One of your questions might not have come through, but she says 19-year-old son folliculitis.
Maybe she just meant, oh, okay.
Maybe, I think we missed
So maybe you have a 16-year-old and you have a 19-year-old. That makes sense. Like. And the 19-year-old son has folliculitis and probably a little oilier skin, and the Mandelic toner pads will work great for him. Now, if he has more than 5 blemishes at a time, get him into the acne coaching program. Even if it's folliculitis, if he's getting more than 5 and constant, you want to get him in that program so we can prevent the scarring and all of that. We're going to take a look at how he's shaving. So with folliculitis, you want to use, if you're going to use a regular razor, you want to get a Bic single edge razor. You're going to want to check his shaving creams, and you're going to want to make sure that you're using one that is acne safe, doesn't have acne causing ingredients in it. single edge razor. That. The other thing that I have my acne kids use, the acne male clients, is I have their parents pick up for them that Braun razor. And I think it's the Braun 7, whichever one is the least expensive. There's a Braun 7 and a Braun 9. The 9 is good if you get a little longer hair and you want to be able to cut it off, because it has that extra pop-up razor to get longer hair. But for shorter hair and a less expensive price would be the Braun 7. And the nice thing about what you don't want in a razor is you don't want rotary heads. If you have an electric razor with rotary heads, that's going to totally break him out. But the Braun has a smooth head, gets all that off, and then you stick it into a sanitizing unit, and it stays in that sanitizing unit and disinfects itself. And that will be the best investment that you can make for him to help keep those breakouts at bay. And then using the Mandelic toner pads, and a good cleanser, a good antibacterial cleanser works really well. Now, if he doesn't have a whole lot of hair, there's a lot of people that use the Bacteria Stat cleanser that we talked about from Bion. There's some young men who can use that if they just kind of have peach fuzz. There's some young men that can use that as their cleansing foam and then shave with that single edge razor.
Ooh,
but
I don't know if I would. Who's doing that?
I used to do it. We used to have people. Maybe it's the Ultra Gentle.
Yes, Ultra Gentle. I would not shave with an acid cleanser that will burn.
Okay.
Will sting.
I'll take that back. Although I'm pretty sure we have people that have done it. But Ultra Gentle cleanser is a better choice. Ultra Gentle cleanser if it's really peach fuzzy. But once it starts getting a little stronger, this isn't going to be good for cleansing. They're going to need to either have that Braun for shaving. They're either going to need that Braun razor, or they're going to need a single edge. And then I can't remember, Morgan can probably pipe in.
So
there's a shaving cream, and I think it might be Neutrogena, like sensitive or something like that, but check the ingredients on it and make sure that it's acne safe.
So she says that folliculitis is on his body, not his face.
Oh, okay. So on the body, you're going to want to pick up that Mandelic scrub. It's called Perfecting Polish from Rhonda Ellison. It's a Mandelic scrub that he can use on his body. If it's particularly severe, you can still use these Mandelic pads on those areas as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So I went into all that about shaving, and it wasn't his face. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We didn't know. Off subject, what would happen to efficacy if I wash off the adipose completely after the 10 to 15 minutes to apply AHA serums nightly?
So what I would do instead is I would apply your AHA serum, let it dry, and then put on your adipose. And then if you just really don't like the feeling of adipose on your skin, you can use a damp, clean skin wipe or something, or a damp cloth to wipe off excess after that 10-15 minutes. You can do that. But I would do the other order. I would use your AHA serum first. That's what I do. I use any of my AHAs, vitamin C serums, any of those kind of things go on first, and then adipose goes on top of them.
Yep. All right.
We did it.
The questions.
We got all the questions. 30-minute show today.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Last chance. Any last questions? Mainly we have Sarah getting her needs met. That's awesome. Pick up my water bottle. There we go. Oh, wow. We're good. Next week we have Lauren coming on. She's going to be doing a fall facial with you guys. So that's going to be really wonderful. What are you doing on Thursday this week?
So Thursday is going to be lymphatic drainage and acne.
Oh, nice.
And using our microcurrent device to do that. So that's going to be really fun.
So good. That tri-wave really keeps, if you get breakouts around this area, that tri-wave is what's going to really clear those and keep them from coming back. So that's a really cool topic.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you back here next week or maybe even on Thursday.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.